we can just start because a lot has happened. I'm sure you've been in the loop while you've been away. I know you've also been listening into the board meetings. So I think the decision now, are all of the public schools going to welcome back students in person January 3rd? Because I know that the board's decision gave some leeway for Rhoda and Tinian. So what's the latest on school reopening for in-person?
So on January 3rd, we will open in person, also known as face-to-face. And all the schools will be ready to open their doors for our students. Currently, right now, the Head Start for Tinian and Rhoda has opened, started yesterday, December 13th, onward till January 3rd and on forward. Because Head Start really in Tinian and Rhoda, the number of cases in Tinian and Rhoda is really minimal or next to nothing, and families and parents feel safe, and the teachers as well. So that's why the Head Start Rhoda and Tinian is open right now. For Saipan, Head Start centers are closed just because of the number of cases that we have. And so remote learning is in place right now, but this will give us a chance to at least slow down on the social gathering so that we can bring down our positive case numbers lower than what it was in this previous year, days. So that is the goal. That's the strategic goal. But opening on January 3rd, it is open for everybody. And as much as I hate to use this cliches, it'll be try to do it as business as usual, opening education for all beginning January 3rd.
And Commissioner, can I get your perspective and your reaction? There's been a lot of episodic, closures and reopenings, closing and reopening. When the gradual reopening plan for schools was put in place based on a testing and screening schedule, the board was confident that it would remain that way. That lasted for about a week or so. And so what's your comment on the closing and reopening kind of back and forth that's been happening?
Oh gosh, I was not the acting commissioner at the time, but my reaction to it is that it's done. It's over and done with. We dealt with it. It was a, lack of a better word, a knee-jerk reaction, so to speak. The surge, we never had this kind of experience, and so when it came to us, not just us, but the entire community was in a panic mode. So the emotion overrode a lot of our decisions, basically. And I cannot blame our acting commissioner that made that decision. There wasn't any best decision. And the best decision that they made was really from the advice from the leadership, the key management team. And so that's why that was that. It's everything is fluid. Everything keeps changing. Right now, we say that we're going to open January 3rd, but what if Omicron comes in come January 5th? Then we have to reevaluate again. But for the most part, I think that some consistency is what I will always propose for our community. Education is something that has to be open for everybody at all times. shutting down or moving to remote learning. That is the, and what do you call that? Last of our resort, but we will still open and offer educational services.
And Commissioner, can you address some of the things that came up from both teachers and students? You mentioned there something about consistency. What support do teachers and staff have right now to continue their jobs, albeit remotely?
You know, one of the things that burn out teachers, from what I understand, is adding more workload to their plate, and doing this remote learning, it is an additional work for them again, right? To switch from face to face that we had, and they had their lesson plans ready, and they were ready to go with, you know, full interaction, to they had to shift and change it to remote, virtual. And there are things that you do when you're face to face, and there are things that you cannot do when you're doing remote. And so it's very taxing on our teachers. So that's why I have to be careful when we make these decisions. Keep that in mind. Our frontline workers, which is our teachers, that are having to bear the workload. Let's provide that consistency by opening face to face, and that is very important. So that's what I think in that case.
Yeah, and what's your message to parents, obviously, who've been a part of this process as well, and students? We know that some of the board members also brought up about how school is access to things in addition to learning. It's also access to other services and resources that students need. So, what's your message to parents and students as they wait for schools to reopen in person to access some of those resources?
I cannot control what the parents feel, but I can tell them that the school is safe, and that we are doing the 3 Ws, making sure that that is in place, and that their children, their child needs to come to school. A school is a privilege for them, and so I want them to know that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay if you put that in your heart and your mind, that if you send your child to school, they're going to learn something. They're going to learn their social, emotional piece. They're going to learn academics, and they're going to feel as if it's some kind of normalcy back. So please, parents, I plead to you to allow your children to come to school. I understand your feeling. If you're afraid or you're anxious and you don't want to send your child out, and I know deep down in their hearts, your children, your child wants to come to school. They need that social interaction. They need to see their teachers. They go to school, it's another adult that they turn to. I mean, as a high schooler myself, I look forward to coming to school because there was that one teacher that I can talk to asking about life skills. It wasn't all academic. And so that kind of interaction is so much needed because we're human. And so please allow if you ask your children, they want to come to school, allow them, and we will do all protective measures.
And Commissioner, can you address some of the ongoing testing and vaccinations at schools? What's the latest with that?
Okay, so first, the screening piece, the antigen screening. Remember, we wanted to make sure that everyone's 80% safe, and that we were pushing the vaccination. So I guess there's a silver lining with all this, that this surge came because now everybody is being vaccinated, and I don't have to campaign and try to get everybody to get vaccinated, even if they don't want to. We really need everybody to be vaccinated so we can be safe. And so that's what's happening right now. So the screening may probably be suspended at the school site, and we're resorting to home kits. So if we get home kits, we have our school nurses to assist, or even our principals to assist in doing the screening before they enter campus, only if they are not vaccinated. Only if they're not vaccinated.
And so I think that's the first I'm hearing of the plan is when will that be put in place, and who will be assisting and providing those home kits?
Okay, so the home kit, that's our right now we're working on trying to get kits, and with our partnership with CHCC, I know that they will support us in getting those kits so that we have it on site by January 3rd when we school open. But we have to, it's another form of screening, but it's actually just checking on who's vaccinated and who's not, so that we can pay attention to the group that are not vaccinated.
And I know the plans are still being drafted, but so far those home kits will be given to unvaccinated students only. And do you know the frequency at which you might be requiring the testing to happen? And are these antigen tests as well?
So first, the screening test, which is the kit, it will probably happen in the first day of school, January 3rd, for that population only. I'm hoping and I'm praying to God that it's a small number of students. And it's too premature for me to say every other day, because we don't know how many kits will be coming to PSS, but we have to divide that by 20 schools and 9 Head Start centers. So that's we need a lot.
And what do you say to those who say that even those who are vaccinated can still spread the virus? What's your response to some of that input?
The ones that are being vaccinated and are still positive?
Yeah, you know, because they won't be required to take these home kits, right?
No, it'll be only at the school site. What I say is that if they are positive, then they go home and then they do the quarantine and get another antigen testing with CHC and at the vaccination sites.
Are you anticipating people to maybe feel like their kid who might choose not to get vaccinated, or the parent who might not choose to get their kid vaccinated might feel like they're being left out, or, you know, I mean, discriminated against even?
I don't anticipate that. I don't think that, I mean, our community is pretty, I don't know how to say it, but they're good people. I mean, this is where our teachers and the adults at the school will have to step in and try to mitigate and educate students and not to do that, because their choice is their choice. If they do not want to be vaccinated, so be it. And I cannot control that. However, we are really making sure our business to make sure that their learning takes place, because right now we have a big learning loss in reading and math, and I'm very concerned. I'm really worried that if this pandemic continues, we are going to go deeper into the below reading levels. So I'm really hoping that that does not preclude more as much as possible.
All right, Commissioner, I know it's a busy time, so just wanted to ask my last question. Heading into the holidays, do you have a message for the community?
Okay, I just want to tell the community that the surge is here, so we have to deal with it. But my personal opinion is to be safe, always follow the 3 Ws, but make sure that you do appreciate the families and the people around you. Enjoy the season. The time has come. It's Christmas season. Don't let COVID bring your spirits down. Let's beat COVID and let's rise above this and continue to do our traditional practices, getting together safely, but then meeting up with our families and continue your exchange of gifts. So those kids are really looking forward to that. Don't forget to mask up every single time, wherever you're at, mask up, okay? That'll be the new mantra. Mask up, because washing your hands, you have to do that on your own, but masking up, when you're talking to me, you better make sure you're wearing your mask, because I will make sure that I wear my mask. I guess that's the new norm for us. Other than that, 'tis the season. Merry Christmas to everybody and happy holidays.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner.